Star shifted her attention back on the older man now approaching Deceiver. This time, however, the Guardian leader did not offer his hand in friendship. "I'm Deceiver, leader of the Guardians," he introduced himself again. If Demacrelin noticed the slight, he didn't appear to be bothered by it.
"Aginthan Demacrelin. My daughter is Terran Demacrelin, although I hear she's calling herself Starlight of the Guardians."
The man's eyes darted from figure to figure standing behind Deceiver, finally landing on her. At first, he appeared stunned to see her dressed in her Guardian uniform. In the next instant, one of those oily smiles she hated slid along his mouth.
"Hello there, Teresia. It's been too long."
"My name is Terran, and you damn well know it. Quit calling me by that name," she snapped. She kept her arms crossed, almost hugging her upper chest. Again, a warmth curled inside her as her husband soothed her ragged nerves.
"Ah, so you prefer the name your mother gave you, and not mine?"
By the tone in his voice, he sounded disappointed. By his demeanor, he was not. Rather than argue a moot point with him, she opted to go ahead and get the whole ugly encounter over with. "What do you want?"
"I wanted to see you. I've been looking for you ever since you ran away."
"You frickin' sold me to a gypsy train!" Fists clench. She jerked her arms down to her side and verbally lashed out at him, unable to hold it in any longer. "You sold me! I didn't run away, but I would have if I'd had the chance. What? You thought I wouldn't remember? That I'd somehow forgotten that little detail? Just because I was a child doesn't mean I wasn't aware of what was happening. I just didn't fully understand it at the time, but not now. Not after all these years." Jabbing a finger toward the nearest exit, Star demanded, "Get out of here. Get out of command and out of my life. I don't ever want to see you or hear of you or hear your voice again. Ever!" When he hesitated, she added, "Go!" Demacrelin's face sagged with disappointment. The ruse was so good. For a moment, she actually believed she'd hurt his feelings, when something within her crystallized, letting her know the man was continuing his act. Before she could make up her mind whether to pursue ordering him away or turning around and disappearing into the safety of the inner offices, Demacrelin commented, "I'm here because of your mother." Star froze, her disbelief evident. "My mother is dead," she flatly responded. The older man shook his head. "No, she's very much alive, but she's dying. She never forgave me for what I did, but she understood why I did it. Whether you want to believe me or not, Terran, she agreed to my plan." "Liar." "Since then, we've regretted our decision. Our conscience has eaten away at us. And now that she's breathing her last, we want to atone for what we did. We want your forgiveness." "Liar! You don't know what we were going through!" Demacrelin suddenly exploded. Fists raised at rib level, he leaned in toward her. Although he never took another step closer, Star could feel Hunter raising a protective barrier in front of her in case the man lashed out. "What would you know about having a child who suddenly had these god-awful powers you could do nothing about? A child who terrified you by making things explode or tossing them away into the sky, sending them to gods knew where. A child who found new ways every day to use her abilities to terrorize us." Hunter's love was back, wrapping tighter around her heart and around her vulnerable psyche. It enabled her to think more clearly. Star calmed enough to recollect.